happening, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. I am finally home after what feels like weeks and weeks and weeks on the road, and I've been meaning to bring this video to you guys for a little while now. It's not clickbait. I'm being serious. When this happened, I absolutely shit my pants because it's the first time I've ever had anything like this happen to me with a car. So let's just get straight into the story. I was out driving the 930. I was taking it to Baffle House because I had a shoot with K&N and they were using the 930 for the content. So I was in Wales somewhere, the car had driven beautifully the whole way there. I pulled into a little truck stop on the left-hand side to just check on the maps where I was going. Pulled back out, first, second, lovely. And then the car started to feel like it was like over fueling, like just breaking down. So I was like, uh-oh, I need to get this thing off the road. I suddenly got this insane smell of fuel in the cabin. And I was like, okay, this is not good if you can smell fuel this bad. And I looked in the rearview mirror and I started to see smoke. And a van came flying past me and was like, you're smoking, there's smoke coming. So I pulled the car in as quick as I could. I actually drove past the entrance to where I was going in a panic and just turned the car off straight away. As I walked out the back of the car, I could see like all down the road, it just looked like, I was like, is that oil? Is that fuel? Like, obviously I could smell the fuel, but I was worried that I'd done something really bad. I was like, have I just blown the engine up? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. Turns out I thought a fuel line had split in the car. But actually what it was a fuel pressure regulator, which I didn't even, you know what, like I'm still learning when it comes to these old Porsche engines. Super scary reminder that if you have an old car like this, you must keep a fire extinguisher in your car. If I've learned anything, because what was happening as it was coming from the fuel pressure regulator, the fuel was going straight onto the rocker cover, down the side of the engine and straight onto the exhaust. Okay, yeah, stop. Ignition off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's... So I probably had another 60 seconds or so, I'm not even like bulling this up, before that could have been a real fire risk and I would have just had to have watched my car burn to the ground, which would have been awful. So learn my lesson, learn the lesson too. If you have an old car like this, please do make sure that you have a fire extinguisher in your car at all times. That's my note of the day from all of this. Thankfully, it wasn't anything terminal. Brad from Motor Solutions is an absolute G. He picked the car up and looked after it and then took it up to RPM Technic. And I asked them to do a full go through of the car and tell me everything that needs fixing. I want to know if it's the smallest to the biggest thing. So this is me coming to pick my car up after a small hiatus of, 4.5 months. A big thank you to RPM for looking after my car for that time. And actually, the good news is, well, I'll let you find out in the video. Let's get into it. And there she is. Now, I haven't seen this car, as I said, for probably 4 months. What, February, March, April, May, June, July. Okay, 5 months. This is Ollie from RPM Technic. Hi. Hi. Here you are. So I bought this car in. He rescued it for me. I had it trailered here. I didn't know at the time exactly what it was. I thought it was like a fuel line that had corroded and split and just gone everywhere. But then they said it was a fuel pressure regulator, which I didn't even know where it was. So it's all the way, I'll let you do the explaining.
It's the warm-up rig, which is here.
Yeah.
Which is part of the cold start. So it's pressure controlled and yeah, it just corroded and
went everywhere.
Yeah.
Now these cars, is that like a common thing to go, or is it actually?
I've never seen one go like that.
Really?
We have them with causing bad starting issues.
Yeah.
But never had an issue with it actually corroding like that and leaking fuel all over the car.
Interesting. So why did that do? I mean, why would that have done that?
Quite old.
Oh.
Yeah, what is 87?
88.
88.
Or it might be an 89. I actually can't remember. It's 88, 89. It's around that. I think it's 88 because it's the same year my brother was born. So she'll be 35 this year. This is the thing. This place is absolutely packed to the rafters with every kind of Porsche that you could ever know. And when I started off my journey with Williams Crawford, their garage is great, but it's in Cornwall, which is like over 300 miles away from me. So it just didn't make sense for me to constantly be trying to take the car down here. So we came to RPM Technic, and these guys are much closer to me. So it's a lot easier for me to get stuff done. But yeah, these are obviously 959. It's a crazy looking machine. There's another one here, silver one. There's so many things like 964s all over places, G bodies. Like it's just lots of things to look at. And whenever I walk through the showroom, I'm just thinking to myself like, oh, what could be next? Whilst I was here, you can't help but come and have a look around the showroom. There's so many cool cars in here. I love this 991 GT3 RS. This is high on the list of cars I would love to have. But just so cool. 996. I mean, everybody talks about the 996. They're like, oh, I prefer the 997, but I think these are really coming into their own now. And I have spotted in here, which I was looking at, there's a really, really nice, this one, 718 GT4. It's up for 92,995, but it's got everything that you possibly want. It's a manual. It's got the really nice carbon bucket seats in there. It's just a really lovely car. But I don't know. I think I would be better off suited to maybe going like 991 GT3. I've always really wanted one of those. Maybe I should just need to stop buying any cars. Anyway, I'm talking like I've got any more space for anything. I have 6 vehicles, and currently I'm running out of space. But going back to this girl, there is a list that I looked at. This is the list of things that we have to that I probably should get sorted. So I'm just having a look at the front, having a look at the top one here. Very slight play in front wheel bearing. Now I've noticed that before when I'm driving along the road. I think like it just makes a noise.
But it's only slight play. So this, yeah.
Would you say that this list, I mean, I love the fact that there's probably nearly 20 things on this list, but yeah, this is the first time that I've had the car fully gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and I said, look, tell me absolutely everything. I know that the paintwork needs some stuff done to it. Well, I'm looking in the end to have a full respray, but also the gearbox. Did you notice anything with the gearbox?
It's quite hard to get in reverse.
Couldn't get it in reverse?
I noticed it was quite hard to get in reverse.
Well, that's not the gearbox, that's just Ollie, so that's fine. It's, no, when you go from first to second, totally lovely, but if you're not very gentle, clutch fully depressed, going from second to third, there's can get a slight crunch.
Third piece synchro, that would be.
But they rebuilt that when I first got the car. They rebuilt the gearbox.
Is this an hydraulic clutch?
I mean, you're the Porsche person here. Porsche person, sorry. I mean, it looks in fairly good nick. When the first time I ever saw the underside of this car, I was like, okay, it's clean.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's all the kidney bowls is where they rot.
That's what they said. They said if it's in the, like...
These are good.
Yeah? Imagine if you just crunched it through there and I just completely shit
A
myself.
bit of rust.
This is like the moment of truth.
Yeah, kidney bowls are good.
I don't even think that he realises how stressful that was just for a second, because if he'd have pulled his hand out there and it was just a load of rot, I don't even know, I would have had to start the video again. I don't. Anyway, back to the list. Very slight play front wheel bearing. Play in both rear wheel bearings, not excessive.
So yeah, slight play in rear wheel bearings, but they're pressed into the arm, so it's a lot of work to change.
Okay.
So, like I say, it's not excessive.
Rear drive shaft boot split. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Are they expensive to replace? Not really?
No, I mean, it's not an MOT failure because it's not a steering axle.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That seems like
They've not split right through, but really you want to take the shafts off and just rebuild the CV joints. And
oil pipe slightly squashed next to the jacking point.
Yeah,
so, interesting fact that I found out from Ollie earlier, that, because I couldn't quite figure out, well, I could figure it out, when you're checking the oil level in the car and these things, you have to make sure that it's on even ground. The oil system has to be hot, so you need to run it, but not just sat stationary. You have to make sure you drive the car around. You can actually feel the oil system because if you just lean on the top of the car there and it's hot just there. Well, that's what you said. If it's warm just on the wing there, then you know that there is good.
yeah, so you've got this thermostat here for the oil system.
Yeah.
The oil circulates into the engine. When it gets to a temperature, the stat opens, same as in a water-cooled car.
Yeah.
And then the oil flows down these pipes to the cooler at the front, which is situated here
Oh, yeah.
for airflow. So obviously, because the pipes run up under the wing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can see. It's a little bit Victorian plumbing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you've got to remember, this is a 60s design that they carried right through.
That's mad.
So they never had coolers originally. They had coolers like back in the 70s, and then the coolers changed to from like they used to just be a bent bit of Victorian plumbing,
Do you know what I mean though? I was just thinking then, I was like, it's quite agricultural in a way. But that's what I love about this car. It's very analogue.
I mean, look at it. Look at these torsion bar wishbones. I mean, it's such an agricultural car.
It's class.
It's brilliant. They're mega.
It was nice what you said earlier. It's like people like this car. I feel like everybody, like everywhere I've taken it, people are like, that's a special car.
There's your squashed.
Oh, there's my squashed. How did that happen?
People jack them up on there.
Oh.
So instead of jacking point, because I only put jacking points on these in '87. So before that, I used to jack them up on this seam. And you see it so often where people don't put it on that corner of the seam, they put it back in, it squashes the pipe at the same time. So that's not, I mean, you'll still get oil flow through that. I mean, if you were racing it or doing your drift stuff with it, you'd probably want to make sure you had proper oil flow. But for what you're using the car for.
This is actually probably the car that even though I've got a list of things to do, I take the most care when driving it. Like, I don't push it on, like, I make sure it's the perfect conditions if you're going to drive it fast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it can catch you out so easy. And like when this thing starts to move, you don't understand the weight of it. Once it starts to go, once it's broken away, it's very hard to collect back up again.
Yeah, you've got that whole pendulum.
Yes, the pendulum effect, which is why, I mean, these were called the Widowmaker. Because like, I think lots of 80s yuppies bought them, decided to spin them off the rear. That too. Decided to spin them off the road. Okay, let's back on with the list. Diff cover flange leaking oil. Oil misting from tank sender. So this is the level of detail that we're going into here. Trailing arm perished.
Yeah, some trailing arm bushes are in here.
Okay.
These are trailing arms, and then the bushes are just start. You can see, you probably see best the other side of that brake line in there.
Yeah.
You can see where it's a bit, the rubber's starting to break up.
Now, would you consider these like minor things that are just like tidying it up rather than like a serious issue?
Yeah, they're just. None of these things, you know, they're all to monitor. What we like to do is build a health report on the car over time. So, you know, we work with you, see what you want to do, and then based on how you're using the car, what you're using it for. And then if you ever phone us up and go, my car's doing this, we'll look at the list and go, well, it's probably related to item number 14.
Would you look at that? That is efficiency if I ever saw it. What's next? We have relay. What is it? Relay has been, I love this word.
Modified.
That is such a dad way of saying modified, doing it in inverted commas. I always feel like you'd be lying modified.
That was typed. Well, actually, that was written out by Chris, who is a granddad.
Oh, okay. Well, but do you know what? That dated him.
1960 he was born. He's a legend.
Yeah. Driver's seat electric's faulty. Oh yeah, I noticed that because whenever James gets in my car, obviously he's 6'7", he puts the seat all the way back.
Don't have chairs in cars.
I was just thinking that's why I said seat. He puts the seat back and then he puts the seat back and then I can't put it forwards again because the electrics decide sometimes to work and sometimes they don't.
You like this?
Oh, I will like this.
That is modified relay.
Oh, as in it's like a bit of like soldered on
somebody
white.
soldered it straight in and... Okay.
One of the little like bar fuses because I tried to start it and you know like you can hear the fuel pump like priming.
Yeah.
It goes and then it starts. Well, it didn't that day, and then I had to go and look at the map, find out where.
Look at the map, the fuse map.
Do you know what? I come here for advice, not ridicule. I'm joking. I love it really. So that is the modified relay. Horn weak.
Should we test that?
I was going to say, I'm thinking. Do you have weak?
That's a weak horn.
Sounds like an advert. Do you have a weak horn? I want one of those. Why is mine so weak? Look how lovely it is, all my carpets and things.
We hoovered it.
Oh, did you hoover it? It's got all of the original stuff in here.
Yeah, there's the original factory sticker.
I know, I wouldn't ever want to change that.
So it's a German.
Yeah, it's a German car.
Yeah.
So they say the story of this car is because obviously it's a special paint colour, it's a non-sunroof, and it's also got no rear wiper as well. Apparently you had to order that to have a non-sunroof one, because all the right-hand drive ones that came to the UK, they were kind of like standard spec.
Yeah, you very rarely see them without sunroof. Moss green metallic.
Yeah.
If my German still serves me correctly.
That is moose green grown metallic.
It's moss, not moose.
It says moose. Honestly. The only other time I've seen this colour was at Villa d'Este. There was a 930 slant nose in this paint colour.
Nice.
And it was used as like a museum piece.
Well, a lot of the family had their cars in the green, metallic green, didn't they? The Porsche family cars. So when you go to the museum, there's a lot of unusual cars in this sort of colour.
So
I don't know if it's this exact colour.
why is this colour so rare? Because as I said, they said the customer, he'd had like a 912 or something. He'd been a big Porsche customer in Germany. And when he ordered this, he spec'd it with like lovely paint colour, non-sunroof, all the rest of it. Why is this colour so rare?
I don't honestly know.
All right.
Wasn't,
And there you have it.
he wanted that colour at that time. And he just went, oh, you paint my car that colour.
This is YouTube. I was expecting a good story then.
Well, we can find me next time. I'll make something up. Much more believable. Well, I mean, paint to sample back in those days wasn't such a thing like it is now.
You had to be like a good customer.
Well, I tell you, just didn't, you didn't see cars unusual colours, did they? They were all like guards red.
Guards red, white, black, silver.
Yeah.
Not silver ones. Okay, well, do you know what? Looking at this list, I'll be honest, there is not anything which is terminal or like of huge financial significance, which is good. You know what? That's the good thing. The one thing I do need doing is the bodywork, which is going to be another video because that is the thing that's probably going to cost me the most. What I am happy about is the engine's healthy. The gearbox, huh? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you do it. I mean, she's a beast. That's what it starts on the button every time. I just love this thing. Love it. Well, there you have it. Thankfully, my beautiful 930 is absolutely fine, thank God, because that would have been a nightmare. I'm gonna start working through those list of things, like a big thank you to Grant again at Quick Motor Solutions for taking my car over there. Big thank you to the guys at RPM, Ollie for looking through it and just making sure that everything is okay. Now it's time to do all those things that are on that list, make sure the car is mint, and then we'll head to bodywork after a while, but that is a bill that I need to save up for because I've had some quotes and it is spenning. One last thing before I do go, I have found some more of these posters that I have. I thought I'd sold them all, but there is a few kicking around. I am doing some signed posters. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. It's a little picture of me. If you want it signed, you can have it signed and I'll send you a little handwritten note with the posters, but they're on really nice paper and it's just a picture of me and my 930. And if you want it signed, you can have it signed. Well, there you have it. Guys, I'll see you on the next video. I'll put the links for that underneath. Stay safe, make sure you've got fire extinguishers in your car and look after your Porsches or whatever you're driving. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.